All right, we are officially live. What is going on, everybody? Big Papa himself here, Jeff Varju, coming at you live right now through the power of the internet, over the internet airwaves to you, the viewer, giving you guys the very first episode of Full Metal Recap. This is a very exciting time for us, being that this is the new relaunch of Full Metal Trivia. We are going to be having a lot of new stuff coming your way, and this is one of the many new things to be coming out of that new spawn of the relaunch. So the goal of this show is to talk about all the matches that have happened throughout the week in Full Metal Trivia and kind of break them down more or less, kind of inside baseball, Callan Cower, John Bucci Cross-esque in a way. So we're going to be going through all the matches that happened this week with the relaunch and talk a little bit about them, maybe discuss a little what worked, what didn't work, and kind of give some overall thoughts on it. And toward the end of the video, we are going to be discussing the coming week, what's going to be happening in the future, and what to be expecting from that. So might as well just get right into it. So before we get into the matches and talking about that, brief forewarn you right now, if you haven't seen these matches, we're going to be talking a lot of spoilers. We're going to be talking a lot of in-depth things right now. So spoiler alert is in full effect. So if you haven't seen the matches that we are going to be discussing, turn off my ugly mug and go watch one of the matches, because this was definitely a great week. Being that this is now the relaunch and going forward with this, we got a lot of great things happening, and this week proved it nonetheless. So you know what? I'm going to start mumbling and gabbing right now. So, we're just going to get right into it. And we're going to start with what happened on Monday. We had the premiere of Full Metal Singles. This is what we had with Worldwide Movie Trivia, the Singles League. This is now assimilated now into Full Metal Trivia. So basically, we had to kick this off right. We knew we had to start this entire relaunch off right. So we started off, what better way, with a triple threat match, a number one triple threat match. So we had three of probably the best players we've had in this game. We had the Hunter, Ryan Permison, Sandy the Sandman Robinson, and ladies and gentlemen, the Butcher is back. Luca Fallon made his triumphant return back to the ring after a little bit of a hiatus, and my God, this match was spectacular. You couldn't have asked for a better relaunch in this new format that we are doing right now. And all three competitors came to play very well. And this was definitely a bit of a swing, like when you think of these three players, every one of them kind of like climbed up a little bit, inch by inch by inch. And they just proved that they are all dynamic players and they could easily be in that contendership, any one of them instantly. But you know what? I got a comment too, the overall improvement of these players. Ryan Permison in particular, this was a player who really stepped up in the ranks a bit, and the fact that he's now got a contendership, that is just amazing in and of itself. Even though his takes are somewhat, I guess the word we'll go with lukewarm. I think there's another word we're looking for, but he's the king of that. But his trivia knowledge has definitely seemed to improve based off of that, and I commend him going forward with that. Same with Sandy. Like, Sandy's improvements are just miraculous, seeing how good he has gotten and just coming out swinging from the get-go. I don't know what's up in the water up in Canada, but keep drinking it, buddy, because you know what? The big bad winner at the end of this entire match was indeed the Sandman himself. Mr. Sandman, we are not bringing you a dream. We're going to be bringing you a title shot. So I hope you are ready for this one. But with talking about Sandy and with Ryan, we got to talk about Luca and his return back to the ring. As you all know, he had a little bit of a hiatus and decided to come back into the game, which we were so happy to have him back and getting back into the ring and having him just lay waste to people and see if he could continue. I always call it that humbleness. Luca is, I always call him one of the most humble players, with the air quotes, if you will. He is, but you know what? In his return back, it's been a little while. He had a little bit of rust. I don't think it was necessarily it might not even been his rust, because after a while he seemed to acclimate, get right back into the swing of things, and really showed why he was a threat to begin with, and why he deserved to be into that #1 contenders match back all the way in There Will Be Trivia days. But, you know, it's so good to have Luca back in the game again. He played a great game. Ryan played a great game. Sandy played a great game. This was you couldn't have asked for a better way to kick off this entire relaunch with a better triple threat match and being a contenders match. But you know what? This was just so much fun. I absolutely love this match. I look forward to seeing Sandy going for his shot at the belt. He's going to have to do a little bit of studying, maybe keep drinking that water up in Canada. But you know what? We're going to have to wait and see what happens. So you know what? If you guys haven't seen that match, definitely give that match a view. It was definitely a lot of fun, and it was really good to see. So definitely give that a check right now. One quick sip of some water. By the way, if you guys are watching live right now, be sure to get involved in the chat. Let's comment what you guys think was the highlights of the week, what you guys liked, or what you're looking forward to, and just get involved. I'll say because toward the end of the show, we'll get you guys involved a little bit, see what you guys are thinking, how you guys feel about how matches went. Comment in the chat, and we'll get looking. So, all right, we're going to keep moving right along. We're going to go right up now to Tuesday's match. We had the premiere of Full Metal Classic. Full Metal Classic is the same game you know from Full Metal Trivia, just with a different name now. So basically, 5 players enter. Only one can be on top. Only one player can rule them all, I think is what they say, actually, in fact. But we had, it was a nice return to form. It was definitely a nice palate cleanser, you know, and I was like coming out of a triple threat contender match, you know, it's fun to just kind of relax with a little bit, going back to classic Coke, you know, think of it in that way. You had your nice strong alcoholic drink, and now you just need to relax with a nice refreshing Coke, and classic Coke, by the way, not the new Coke. Shout out to all my 80s friends out there. But you know what? We had 5 people enter this ring in Full Metal Classic, and they were all players who actually did not get a win at all. So all 5 players were chasing after that first W. So this was definitely an interesting match. So the players we had in the game, we had Mr. Matt Beer, Jeffrey Glossner, Hunter Chambliss, the Hunter Ryan Parmesan, and everybody's favorite king, the self-appointed king, actually, Caleb Coho. So we had 5 interesting players entering the ring, and you know what? This match did not disappoint at all. This was definitely a lot of fun to watch. It was great to get back seeing Full Metal back into what always made it great. And you know what? The best part of this match for me, it wasn't even the competitors. Even though they all did very well, I think the real winner of this match was the cameo appearance of Matt Beer's dog randomly in the middle of the match. That was by far the best moment of the match for me. Who doesn't like seeing a dog on screen? Come on, guys. I mean, that instantly makes your day better. It instantly just brightens your mood, and it shows why you can just relax a little bit. But you know what? So talk about the match itself. Coming out of round 1, Ryan was actually on top. So you know what? He's riding that high from that contender match, you know, coming out on top in round 1. And unfortunately, the first person eliminated in round coming in 5th place was Hunter. I think he had a total of about 3 points coming out of round 1. But you know what? He's a good kid. You know, I think he just needs to study a little bit more. He was going up against some tough fish tonight. You know, and I think he can bounce back from this very easily and definitely come back to play and hopefully get that first W. So Hunter, you know, you just keep at it, buddy. You can get it. You can definitely get it. But then going into round 2, when they started picking numbers, it was actually Ryan's number. I would say he had since he was in the lead, he got to pick his 2 numbers, and the category he chose was one I wouldn't necessarily have picked, but I was surprised at how well I did playing along with it, and that was Spider-Man movies. I would say based off of some of the other things, I remember live action Disney was an option, which that would have probably been my personal choice. But at the same time, you know, I didn't play the game. But I was actually surprised at how well I did with the Spider-Man questions. And everybody actually did a really good job. I mean, there was a little bit of a fumble with the one question with how it was worded. Everybody got a free mulligan point on that one, which was fair. It was absolutely a fair call, and that just because the wording seemed a little off. But unfortunately, coming out of that one, I think it was a 1-point difference between who came in 4th versus the 3rd, because I think it was actually a tie coming out of round 2. I remember Ryan was still in the lead with a 1-point lead, and then Matt and Caleb were tied for second place, which unfortunately meant that Jeff Glossner had to be eliminated by 1 point. It was unfortunate, but you know what? He still played a great game. And another competitor, you know, we haven't seen him in a little while, but it was great to see him back in the ring and seeing his skills improve over time. So you know what, Jeff, if you're listening to this, great match as well. Hope to keep seeing you in the ring and continue improving. So going into round 3 now, this is where the things got really interesting and really heated. You know, it went down to the wire. Went all the way down to the 5th and final question. And I know these 3 competitors, especially one in particular, it came down to Stella got her groove back, and that was the deciding fate for one competitor, and that was Caleb Coho. Unfortunately, Caleb Coho came in 3rd place that night, putting Matt and Ryan into a sudden death tiebreaker to get into the finally get that W in. Oh, it actually reminds me. See, this is the beauty of stuff happening live right now, guys. I actually forgot. Round 2 actually ended in a tie between. So Jeff and I believe it was Caleb or Matt. They had to it was Jeff and Matt. They had to do a tiebreaker on Rotten Tomatoes to see who got it, and Matt I know got it. But now going back into round 3, it was box office who could get the closest to that, and the big bad winner. He couldn't seal the deal on Monday, so he had to do it on a Tuesday. Ryan Permison got his first W in Full Metal Classic. It was definitely a well-deserved victory. It came down to the wire there. You know, sudden death is always an exciting time for everybody. But you know what? This proved to be quite the match, and it was a great return to form for Full Metal Trivia, and I was really happy to see it. A lot of great competitors. Caleb played great. Matt played great. I loved the banner back and forth between them, you know, referencing some old beef between them when they were on the Nazgul days. You know, that was once upon a yesteryear, guys. You don't have to worry about that anymore. But you know what? All joking aside, though, all 5 competitors played a great game. It was very entertaining to watch and get back into the Full Metal Classic swing. So anyway, guys, you know, Full Metal Classic is just a lot of fun. If you didn't make the roster for Full Metal Singles, I know we have to have a cutoff point at some point. If you didn't make the roster singles, definitely get into Full Metal Classic, because if you get the W in there, it definitely puts you in the good graces to get into the singles league then. So all are always welcome into the classic matches. It's always a first come first serve basis. The post usually goes out on a Monday, so definitely be sure to get in on that as much as you can. I'll say new players are always welcome and get in on that. So you know what? Full Metal Classic, guys, a lot of fun. Again, gotta get a water break in here. So now that brings us over to Wednesday. Wednesday had the premiere of a brand new show, something we haven't really seen in this realm of trivia in a while. And that is a new show from the brainchild of our own Jeremy Adams. That is Full Metal Random. This is a Iron Man style trivia style match where anything can go. It doesn't necessarily have to be movies. It can be music. It could be TV. It could be pop culture. It could be whatever it you would want, as long as you and at least one other person can go at it for a couple minutes and see what happens there. And you know what? Our premiere episode, of course, it was a lot of fun. We got to get the brainchild of this entire thing in there. So we had Jeremy Adams and Sandy Robinson doing what else? 80s trivia. And I got to tell you guys right now, this was so much fun. I absolutely loved this match. It was so much fun because we've all been everybody knows us for our movie trivia. It's interesting to see how well we can do when there's not that restriction there, when it opens us up to more pop culture and fashion and food and literature. If it happened in the 80s, it was fair game. And it was just so much fun to watch because it's an environment for people to have more of a relaxed trivia match. You aren't so focused on, I got to get the win in, much as we're accustomed to in like the singles and the team matches. Everybody's very regimented. With Full Metal Random, this gives the opportunity for somebody who may not necessarily be good at movie trivia, But if you're good in like maybe comic books or toys or whatever it is you may be interested in, it gives you a little bit more of a relaxed setting and the opportunity to maybe connect with somebody else who is good on that. And it just offers so much fun. And honestly, these questions were kind of tricky. I mean, they were definitely fair. There was a lot of questions there which it's like, okay, I knew, but then there's a lot of questions where it's like, okay, that one was a little trickier. And and there was actually very few movie questions, which was good because we have enough movie trivia, and this proves why random works. Random can literally be anything, and that's why I loved it so much. But you know what? At the end of the day, counting, I'll say whoever won, Jeremy did come out with the win, 1 point coming out of the speed round, but it was only a 1 point difference. You know, I don't think Sandy has any ill will towards Jeremy right now. I think they're going to settle that beef maybe later on down the road, maybe toward the end of the year, maybe when there's a little bit of snow falling down. But I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. But you know what? If you guys haven't already, be sure to check out Full Metal Random. This was so much fun to watch. A lot of great things to watch. And if you have an idea, direct message one of the guys on Facebook, whether it be Jeremy, Sandy, whoever, and and pitch your idea. I'll say we can try and get you guys on the roster and having some fun. If you can definitely find somebody else who would be interested in sort of things, you might even see a familiar face coming up in the future. So you'll just have to wait and see, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, so we're at the halfway point. Let's see who we got in the chat then. All right, let me just take a quick sip here. Let's take a look, see who all we got in the chat. And looks like we got Nico over at Multiplex. What's going on, Nico? Looks like we got Malcolm. How you doing, buddy? What's going on, Dan? Let's say, Sandy Robinson is a beast. Will be interesting to see if he challenges Jeremy or Paul. That is definitely going to be interesting. That is definitely going to be an interesting thing. Adam Morales, Full Metal Random was so fun to watch. Absolutely was. I say, I'm looking forward to seeing my friend Dollface debut next week. Oh, okay. So you might have actually spoiled something, but please don't call her Emma. We're not the same person, even though we're friends. I don't like being confused with her. Let's say, you know what? Now that I think about it, there actually is a pretty striking resemblance between you two. I say, what's going on, Jonathan Peck? How you doing, buddy? Ryan's been working his ass off for the first win. Yes, he has worked so hard to get that. Glad to see all the work pay off. Hopefully my time will come soon. I still have yet to win in general movie trivia in any league. Nico, you will get your time. Maybe if you keep backflipping into pools, maybe you'll get your time. Full Metal Random MMA and Full Metal Random How to Train Your Dragon after the third movie is released. We'll have to get you in the books, Nico. We'll try and get you in there. A lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. I'll say also again, be sure to keep commenting. Let's keep the chat going. I'll say if you guys got any other questions about any upcoming matches or anything, drop a comment. I'll say, but I'm going to keep trucking right along because we got 3 more matches definitely to talk about right now. And that brings us now to Thursday's match, which was the premiere of Full Metal Teams. Again, what we've known from Worldwide Movie Trivia, the Teams division has now assimilated into the Full Metal banner right now. So of course, we had a contenders match on Monday, so we got to have another contenders match. It was between a Team Blockbuster Video made up of Nazario Montenegro, I hope I pronounced it right, buddy, and Mike Hanley. And they faced off against the newly dubbed Notorious Chaos, made up of Russell Howe and Matt Quayler, which we all know used to be the former Notorious Chance. Unfortunately, Chance now getting called up to the big leagues and not competing with us anymore. That now put Russ in a little bit of a tough bind. But you know what? Matt Quayler rose to the occasion and joined the team. And you know what? It was their first match. We gave them their record. And you know what? This match was definitely very interesting for a contenders match because it didn't necessarily have the outcome everybody was anticipating, especially coming out of round 1 because it was so close. This was such a close match already coming out of round 1. It was already a 2-point game. And, you know, I'll say Blockbuster Video is definitely coming to play. They really are showing why they are to me, they are one of the best teams in terms of chemistry. They just bounce off each other so well. And they prove that none better than in their round 2 when they got their strength category of Tarantino. They just bounced off each other so well. If one didn't know it, then the other knew it. And that's what makes a really good team, is when one fails in one area, the other can go, hey, I got you right there. That's a good teammate. That's a good team right there. And they went perfect in round 2. Maybe I'll say going to multiple choice, I think maybe twice out of 6 questions, but still they just racked up the points. And then that brings us over to Notorious Chaos's turn. And unfortunately, just things for them just did not gel. And I said they got 2000s Disney animated, which some of you might be saying, okay, it might not be too bad. Unfortunately for them, it just was not the category that they were gelling with and they were jiving with at all. But, it happens. And, I would say, considering that this was their first match together playing, they're still trying to test some waters and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. But you know what? I think they can definitely grow from this match. Unfortunately, they just got hit with the bad luck stick in round 2, and Blockbuster Video got a lot of key steals in there and ultimately sealed the win in with a knockout victory over them. But you know what? Notorious Chaos is going to easily bounce back from this. I think they are a fantastic team that can have a lot of potential and a lot of growth for them in the future. So I'm curious to see. This isn't going to be the last we're going to hear from them, because at the end of the match, it was revealed that Team 80s and Notorious Chaos are going to be facing off against one another, which I think is going to be a very spirited match. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think by that point, once that match happens, Notorious Chaos will already have a little bit more of a set play style in, and they will definitely hit the drawing board and hit in the books a lot more. But you know what? I'm curious. I'm very excited to see them back in the ring. But you know what? Let's talk right now about Blockbuster Video. My God, if there was a team that I'll say other than Team 80s, this was another team that really deserves to get a shot at that title. I mean, Team 80s unfortunately just couldn't seal the deal and get that win over Big Picture. But you know what? If there was another team that could do it, it's these guys. And I think they are going to have quite the battle for them come championship time, trying to get that win over Big Picture and see if they can at least give them at least one in that loss category. But you know what? Big Picture is a tough team. Paul and Michael, they know their stuff. They proved it very easily in this last team match. But you know what? I think Nazario and Mike can really give them a run for their money. And I'm very excited to see how that match will turn out in the future. But guys, this contenders match for the teams, yeah, it may not have gone exactly as we pictured, but you know, it was still a very entertaining match to watch. And it was great to see 4 really good competitors duke it out in the ring. So my hat's off to all 4 of you gentlemen. Great job. All right, then that now brings us up to Friday, which is Full Metal Geek Day. That's where we have our more of like the fandom style matches. I would say more of the deep cut style work. But you know what? I can tell you guys right now, you will never see me in a Full Metal Geek match because some of these questions are just the pits for me. I love all this stuff, but you know what? It's just a little too deep for me. But you know what? The competitors who played tonight, they proved that this was no such thing for them, because we had 2 very good competitors. We had the vicious trollop Jessica Morgan facing off against the showman Eli McKegg. And coming out of round 1, you know, just had a little bit of trouble coming out of it. I mean, Eli was definitely showing that he is one of the best players to play in a geek style format to date. He's shown nothing but pure dominance in the game, and he was definitely showing that. But you know what? Things changed come round 2. I think Jess, when she hit her strength category, she had a strength, I think, with Star Wars. That was definitely something that worked well into her favor and proved that she knows. You don't want to underestimate her. She is one of those people you do not want to underestimate at all. She was the champ of Full Metal Trivia for a reason. She was the champ for a reason. And you know what? And she proved that she does know her stuff. And you know what? I give it to her. I mean, there were some toughies in there with Star Wars, but you know what? She did a great job coming out of it. But you know what? Eli also did too. They both went the same points. They both got the same point record coming out of round 2. So they're going into round 3 then with a 3-point differential. But you know what? unfortunately for Jess, it just was not enough. I know I think it was her two. It was either a 2 or 3-pointer that she didn't that she missed, but she got her 5-pointer. That was a toughy one. I remember I was like, Watchmen. The question being, name one of 2 characters in Watchmen who didn't cuss. She guessed Dr. Manhattan, which probably would have been my guess as well. And that was correct. And the other one, which was actually a bit of a surprise, Rorschach. I would never have expected that. Honestly, so I was just as surprised as she was. But you know what? Eli, all he needed to do was answer 2 questions to seal the deal for a win. And he did bada bing, bada boom. He came out that match with the W, advancing forward now in the team tournament. But you know what? Again, Jess played a great game. And I think, it just came down to the questions, I think, at the end of the day. Some right questions, wrong questions. It really all depends on who you ask. But overall, I definitely loved seeing Eli play. I think he's definitely one of the most underrated players to be playing right now. I mean, the stuff that he's doing over in multiplex, I mean, like, he is just wrecking house over there. And it's just one of those players. He's one of the top dogs up there. But you know what? I think he can really do some stuff here in this Full Metal Geek tournament and can really make a name. And I think he's going to be the player you want to watch for. So definitely keep an eye. Definitely keep an eye on Eli as this tournament progresses. Gotta get a little tongue tied up there. But you know what? This match was definitely a lot of fun, and look forward to seeing how the rest of this tournament is going to play out. Which now brings us to our final day, the final match we're going to be talking about today. It was on Saturday, and that was the return of Movie Battlegrounds. Movie Battlegrounds, for those who do not know, it is the show where people who may not necessarily know trivia, it's not necessarily a trivia match. You need to be good at debating. You need to be able to defend and say why a certain movie is better in this or why a certain character is better at that. It's definitely a different way to approach the game in it. And we had 2 competitors who are probably some of the best talkers I've seen in this league at anything. And we had the Black Lantern, Brooklyn Vale, facing off against the Red Ranger, Rene Villarreal Jr., or RJ, as we all know him. And, based off this match, the best way to describe it, this was a gentleman's match. These were 2 individuals, who they knew how to shit talk each other. They knew how to attack each other and counter off of what they both were going for. But there was definitely a mutual respect there. It wasn't a hatred style match. This was something that was shown clear respect, and a lot of people seemed to really like that. And seeing these 2 go at it, this was definitely a lot of fun to watch. There's nothing but good things between here. And you know what? Both did their homework. They really did. They gave a lot of really good points on a lot of their arguments. And some arguments obviously were better than others. I'm kind of, I'll say going off of the one that I think was probably the toughest one to debate, the best post-credits Marvel scene. I mean, I know RJ picked the Infinity War scene and Brooklyn picked the Ant-Man and the Wasp scene. That led to some interesting debates, and I can see both sides of it, but at the same time, it was definitely it wasn't the easiest choice for me to pick. But based off of that, throughout the match, Brooklyn was definitely more on the aggressive side. He was definitely more on the offensive side, trying to attack why RJ's points weren't necessarily the best. But RJ played a really good defense. He definitely came to play and had really good counters to what Brooklyn was saying. But you know what? In the end, it was a very close match. This was by far one of the best endings, I think, to a Movie Battlegrounds match. It could have went either way, but by the narrowest of margins, Brooklyn came out with the win and a 3-2 win. But you know what? RJ could have easily won this as well too. I mean, this was just such a very spirited debate. There was a lot of camaraderie there, and I loved seeing these two go at it. And they even said it at the end, like we could keep going at that point, and they had a very mutual respect for each other, which I think is the most important thing whenever we enter the ring. And that, whether it be battlegrounds or singles or teams or whatever it may be, the fact that there's always a camaraderie there, and at the end of the day, we are always going to be friends and just all have the same love of movies and just care. Yeah, again, group hug everybody. Poppa's always going to be there to be happy for you guys. But I love the respect shown from these guys. It was definitely a gentleman's match, and I look forward to seeing the next match and seeing Brooklyn keep going on. Hopefully, maybe go for a KO victory. But you know what? We'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. So that about does it now for that week. I mean, again, this was a fantastic week to get started on. Everything was great. I love seeing the variety we have and the fact that we can now continue going forward. I mean, the fact that we're releasing stuff every single day of the week is very ambitious of us, and we make us it's tough. It's definitely a tough schedule, but you know what? I think it opens a lot of opportunity for us to really project forward and get a lot of great content out to you guys, the viewers, and also to the competitors as well. So before I get into next week, what you guys can expect for next week, let's take another look at that chat. Let's see who all we got. So let's see if we can get back into there. Looks like there's a little bit of a debate right now between Malcolm and Nico. Of course there is. Play nice, gentlemen. There's a reason why Jess Morgan is the mother of dragons, because she sets the league on fire with how good she is. That said, Eli is the showstopper for a reason. Both of them deserve gold. 100%. Any one of them could have easily got that win there. This was much needed, a bit of revenge for Nazario, as Matt has had his number twice in Multiplex's Warzone. Regardless of the league, Blockbuster is a force to be reckoned with. 100% agree with that. Definitely be on the lookout for Blockbuster. I think Big Picture might have their work cut out for them. This is definitely going to be a grudge match. So we'll have to see with that. I hope to be back in Full Metal match. Jonathan Peck, yeah, I would say definitely get in contact with with us over here. We'll get you in a match hopefully soon. I would say remember, it's always a first come first serve basis. Debates. Brooklyn, how you doing, buddy? Trust me, Jeff, we know the struggle of trying to release content daily. It's hard. Yes, it is. It's always tough, guys. It's always very, very tough. But you know what? We're going to keep moving forward with it. I'll say everybody here is doing a great job. On behalf of everybody here, Multiplex and Full Metal, everybody's working hard to get you guys the best content possible. So let's just keep on keeping on, guys. All right, so we're going to now give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek as to what to expect with this next week. Now that we're going into week 2 of this little mini season we're doing with Full Metal, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of what to expect, and comment what you guys are looking forward to the most, what you guys think is going to be working, and let's get going. So on Monday, tomorrow at 5:00, we're gonna be dropping on the Full Metal singles match. We have Joseph Olivas and Michael Wood and Dollface in a triple threat style match. This is going to be an interesting match. I was a part of this match, and just watch the match. That's all I will say. There was definitely some interesting things that happened in this match, so definitely be on the lookout for that one. Also on Tuesday, we got, of course, Full Metal Classic. The players will be announced. The post, again, will go up on Monday. It's a first come, first serve basis. Be sure to get your name in so that way you guys can get competing in that, and we'll get you guys in and having some fun. On Wednesday, Halloween night, we are going to be having on Full Metal Random a surprise Halloween episode. I don't even know what to expect with this match. We don't know who the competitors are. We don't know exactly what they're going to be debating. Possibly Halloween stuff, but we don't know for sure. The only way to find out is to tune in on Wednesday to figure out what this random match is going to be all about. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be crazy. And then on Thursday in our Full Metal Teams match, we have Team Smarty McFlies, made up of Cody Newberry and Jeff Glossner, facing off against Master Debaters. Think what you will with that name right now. Master Debaters. made up of Linus Babcock and Matt Beer. That's definitely going to be an interesting match. I mean, we have a new team and a team that's now rebranded. I remember from the There Will Be Trivia days, it was Cody and Jeff. I think they were Noobs Unchained. So they are now kind of going under a thing. They now have a little bit of a new way of playing the game. So this could be definitely very interesting to see how they play. So have to be on the lookout for that one. On Friday, we have our continuation of the Full Metal Geeks tournament. Don't know who's going to be competing in that. That's going to be announced as the week goes on, so definitely be on the lookout for that, as well as on Saturday with Movie Battlegrounds. And we don't know the competitors for that one yet, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And then on Sunday, of course, at around 5 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be having our Full Metal recap. Excuse me. I think Jeremy Adams is going to be hosting it this go around, but you know what? We might have another competitor or maybe even some guest appearances on this show. We're kind of testing the waters with this show. It seems like you guys are receptive to it. There's a lot of things going on in the chat, which is great to see. So that about does it for us, guys. I love seeing all the interaction going on in the chat. Yeah, what's going on, Henry? How you doing, buddy? I'll say, so, spoiler for the Halloween random episode, somebody gets murdered. That may very well happen. I'll say, not to spoil the singles match with Dollface, something happened there. Oh, you know what? She actually is in the chat right now. I'm pretty sure Joseph is an undercover spy or something, Nico. Oh, boy. So, you know what? Dollface has got to be on the lookout right now. But you know what? This was a lot of fun, guys. So we're going to keep doing this every week, you know, kind of recapping everything and getting you guys all the rundown and what we think of all the matches going on from an outsider's perspective. So if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe to Full Metal Trivia, get involved in the Facebook group, get yourself in a match with Classic, do what you got to do to get in here and spread the word, like, comment, subscribe, do what you got to do to spread the word on this match and on this channel and everything here, because we're just going to keep on keeping on, guys. And that's always going to keep going. I'm rambling at this point. So you know what? That means I got to wrap it up. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you guys like what you keep seeing, if you guys like what you see, comment down below, like, subscribe, do what you got to do, share, and we will definitely see you guys in the week. So everybody, this is Big Papa Jeff Varju saying take care, everybody, and keep on keeping on.